What does a geometry classroom in the United Nations have in common? They are both full of rulers. So now we're going to start one of my favorite types of reasoning, which is called deductive reasoning. What is deductive reasoning? Well, it's really the only way to prove that something is true. So it's the process of using logic to draw conclusions from given facts, definitions, and properties. So you were expected to understand the difference between inductive and deductive reasoning. One of the easiest ways to look at it, deductive reasoning starts with the rules and what is always true and goes to a specific case. Inductive reasoning starts with specific cases, and then they try to make rules based on the specific cases. So you can see here we have inductive reasoning as observation, generalization to what we think is a rule, and deductive reasoning, we use rules to make predictions and observations. Deductive reasoning will not be proven false if it's a valid deductive argument. Inductive reasoning, you only need one counterexample to prove false. So let's look at example 1. Determine if the following argument is based on inductive or deductive reasoning and why. So this is an actual myth that you can balance an egg on its end on the spring equinox, only then. So what they did here is they said, well, a person was able to balance an egg not just on the equinox, but also July 8th, September 21st, and December 19th. All of these are based on observation. So using observation to prove an argument true or false is inductive reasoning. So our answer in this case is inductive reasoning because based on observation, because of counterexamples, really. Counterexamples. All right. Now, deductive reasoning would have been using rules. Let's look at example 2. Example 2 says determine if the following argument is based on inductive or deductive and why. This is also an actual myth. It's on the NASA website. It says, there's a myth that the Great Wall of China is the only man-made object visible from the moon. Now, if you look at the NASA website, and I'll show you a photo in here, the Great Wall is barely visible in photographs from 180 miles above the Earth. The moon is 237,000 miles from the Earth. That's like 1,000 times farther. Therefore, the myth cannot be correct. So let's take a look. Here's an actual picture. And this is from Earth's orbit, and you can kind of see the Great Wall. Now get 1,000 times further away than this. So it's not like I'm using a counterexample. I didn't go to the moon and show a picture. What I'm using is a general rule. The rule is if you get further away, the harder it is to see something. It gets smaller and smaller. So this Great Wall that we can see really barely here will be like 1,000 times smaller roughly. So this is based on deductive reasoning. All right, deductive reasoning. We used rules and general laws of physics and science to show that you can't see the Great Wall of China from the moon.